Good afternoon. After quite some time, we decided, as COVID takes some time now, to do again my May blasts for you. Because also for us, it's fun to do. And sometimes with the home office and so forth, it gives us an excuse to get together in the company and to work together again. I'm starting to miss this with all these home offices. And we have to look forward. This will take a few months more, and then we will have a fair in September, as you know now. And we're looking for it, you to come to TEFAF. Please be reminded, the second weekend of the TEFAF in September is 2 days before the Art Basel opens. So it gives you a good excuse to fly over to Europe and to both leading fairs in different fields at the same time. It's really a great opportunity and quite unique. Now, coming back to us here in Basel, in my office, I thought I would like to present you again a subject I've talked about in the past, which is warfare, but also manlyhood and pederasm. It's somehow related, and by pure chance, I was entrusted upon some really very fine pieces I sold quite a long time ago, even my father, to a collector who trusted these pieces now upon me, and I'm very delighted to present them now to you. There are 3 helmets here, each one somehow exciting. One is a typical Chalkidian helmet. Let me turn it to you. The Chalkidian helmet. Early 5th century, probably Magna Graecia, but not certainly. It could be also the Greek periphery towards the Black Sea. It's quite a beautiful example of a well-established type. Then we have the famous, always known Corinthian helmet of type 2. We are here in the 6th century BC, a beautiful patina. The nose, unfortunately, broken away and reconstructed, but what a beautiful, elegant piece. And it had obviously a crest. Here you have the rivet holes showing that this piece was richly decorated with a crest. Here you have an iron implement which allows you to understand that you could take the crest off. So I think you had a show-off time and a battle time. Or if the crest was damaged, you had it replaced and put back a new crest. A phenomenon we know very well. So this piece, early 6th century, quite a splendid specimen with a good patina. Then, and this is the truly exciting piece here, is this extraordinary iron helmet. It's the only one I ever had. And already when I acquired it from a German collector from Cologne a long time ago, I got very excited. What is it? I mean, first it is iron. We know that the Greeks were able to use iron as a material for armoring and even helmets. It's very, very rare, and it was considered to be very complicated to do, quite rightly so. So you see, this helmet is made of different pieces and then riveted together. It's a totally different technique. It's a smithy who has been hammering this iron, because when you hammer iron, bronze by the way too, then it gets more and more dense and more sophisticated, in the sense it will not break. It will be much more flexible, and this is a technique which we know and even in prehistory was known. By hammering a certain alloy of bronze or iron, it becomes much more flexible. So this was made of several hammered, smithed pieces of metal, with the crest being with here a rib to prevent damages. The piece is in extraordinary good condition, and of course I was completely flabbergasted. What is it? So I assumed it comes originally from Austria, has a provenance from Austria, was then sold to a German collector from whom I bought it. But that is not giving us very much. Then I started really looking into weaponry, which is my speciality, and I found parallels to this way of forming the eye protection, this part here. And I found also an example here from the Kuban area, which is northeast of the Black Sea, from the Scythian areas, that they did have some shapes like that. And we know that the Scythians were perfectly capable to work iron. So I believe this is a Scythian helmet of the early 5th century, late 6th century BC, so quite early and exceedingly rare. And here with decorated iron bands which are riveted, you see here the rivets along. So a similar technique to what we see in bronzes. Here, because you have rivets also along here, then here you have a reinforcement or even a repair due to battle wear. Here they smothered it together and riveted here. So it's a very developed technique. The piece is intact, it has holes from corrosion, but very few. And obviously we have here 3 little holes on both sides, so it was also wearing a crest. As I said, there are some parallels typologically, but not identical, from the Kuban area, poorly published, unfortunately. And then, of course, I was also pondering the possibility, that would even be much rarer, that we have here an original Viking helmet, because the Vikings were using iron, and as we know, the Vikings were living and trading and being active even in southwestern and southeastern Russia up to Novgorod and so on. But the Viking helmets look different. They have this, but then they have like a piece of glasses. They have also here, they're protected here. So they don't, when you look at it carefully, they are not identical, nor typologically too similar. So I excluded this possibility, though it's a very, very attractive one. I can assure you Viking helmets are excessively rare. But no, it's a Scythian helmet. It's somehow unique. And I'm very, very happy that it's been given back to me so that I can offer it now. I will never have such a helmet again. So we have the typical Corinthian helmet, the typical Chalcidian helmet, and then in a different material, hammered iron, riveted iron, a Scythian helmet of the early 5th, late 6th century BC. And all 3 helmets were worn for battle, they're battle-proof. Now, I thought it's very charming and interesting to have from the same collection 2 absolutely smashing bronzes. Again, showing manlyhood, but also having a pederastic component or homosexual component, because this young, absolutely beautiful, young Etruscan adult is not only extremely well done and very elaborate in its workmanship. He's wearing, of course, a helmet of the type Negau. It's a Negau helmet he's having on his head, and then he has a crest which is gone. It's a well-known type he's wearing, but he's holding a hare. Now the hare is a homoerotic gift in Greek art, also Etruscan art, but at the same time, and that's slightly irritating, he's holding also a knife. So is he going to sacrifice a hare, or is it simply a gift? This remains still enigmatic. What is happening is not quite clear. His drapery is in a way that his beauty is exposed and even enhanced by the way it's draped around his left shoulder. Patina is extraordinary, it's broken off at the feet, and the quality is astonishing and very Etruscan in the sense that each muscle is representing it's another approach to the body than the Greeks would have done in the 5th century. But it's the same mastery. It's a perfect mastery of the body and the bronze as such. Then in the same collection, we have this extraordinary rare Greek late classical bronze of possibly Ulysses or Odysseus, because he's wearing a Papylos helmet, which is so typical for the representation of Odysseus in the same period. He's bearded, he's very slender, his nipples were inset in copper, and of course you see this is a completely different world than the Etruscan piece. Very elegant, very elongated, which speaks more for a late classical piece, even early Hellenistic, original in bronze. So I'm very pleased to present all these because both men are helmeted, so the helmet is part of the representation of warfare, of heroes related to a myth or war. It's not by coincidence this young man is wearing a Negao helmet and here a Pylos. He could also be a Dioskuros, but Dioskuroi not necessarily always wear a Pylos helmet. It's more typical for Odysseus. So I'm pleased to show you this. They all come from the same collection, and this comes also as a surprise for me in 2021 to be able to offer these pieces to you here. Thank you very much.